I remade every mob into dinosaurs in Minecraft.
So after a wild start already, the title of the video is exactly the same as the one in Kipper's video. The way it starts is also the exact same. Is this going to be some sort of crazy random stuff that a random guy called Gardy made to copy Kipper? Please don't send hate.
First, let's turn this cow into a Spinosaurus because they're both brown.
You know, it's supposed to be colorful. At least the guy showed accurate Spinosaurus. Hopefully nothing goes wrong.
Alright, first, we need to make it way larger because the Spinosaurus skull was as big as this cow, if not even bigger. Now when that's done, let's make some appropriate legs for our giant beast. The Spinosaurus's legs were way thinner compared to the rest of its body, and they also have a very visible femur. The toes were nasty.
This is a classic Mr. Beastified video, given the crazy amount of sound effects, as well as the text at the bottom, and also just shown right in your face as well sometimes.
Looking, but we still have to make them, so let's create 3 fingers with really sharp and big claws. Now, we have to do the same thing for the other leg. Then we'll rotate the stomach, just tilt it a little bit, and make it more round, and gosh, this cow's head is looking really creepy on this. Let's remove it before moving any further. Whew, that's better. Now, we need to create the arms, which are very human-like.
How on earth do you compare a Spinosaurus arm to a human arm? They are not human-like.
And that fact creeps me out. Now we just need to add the tail, head, and the well-known spine. I'll do the tail first because it's easier. We just need to stick a bunch of smaller cubes one by one, and we'll get the shape of a Spino's tail.
This is made in 2024, by the way. This video was made in 2024, so this is wholly inaccurate. What you should have done is, you know, make Spinosaurus's tail narrow, but keep around the same length until at the very end. Not really the same length, the same width, same height, whatever.
Spino's head, on the other hand, has very large jaws.
Dude just showed an accurate Spino, and then later on just showed an outdated Spino. What sort of logic is this now?
They looked like alligators and had a bunch of sharp teeth. 64 to be more precise. And because of that fact, now I have to spend an hour making teeth. Alright, that's finally done. And the last thing we need to do is make the spine, because without it, the Spinosaurus is just a saur.
Judging by the model of this creature over here, this Spino is just going to be one of those outdated upright Spinos that you see in a bunch of those mainstream paleontology videos.
The Spino's spine reminds me of a seashell, so that's what I'll try to copy. Alright, and BAM!
And I guessed it correctly. I shouldn't be surprised, because, you know, mainstream syndrome.
There we have it, a Minecraft Spinosaurus. Now let's create his enclosure. Whoops, I almost forgot to paint it. Now we can create his enclosure. The Spinosaurus actually used to live in a huge river system, but they also loved mud, and the Spinosaurus is just a saurus.
I don't know how to describe this sentence, jeez. I have basically no idea, because what am I supposed to say at this point?
Let's get started making one huge muddy, moist, foresty enclosure. First, we'll add one huge river, like right here. Then add a bunch of mud around the river.
That does not look like a river to me. That looks like either a pond or a lake, which, with all those supposedly lily pads, like, there are lily pads in Minecraft. Just use lily pads in Minecraft, not grass blocks.
Basically everywhere near the wet spots, and even more trees because the Sahara region was hot, and the Spinos had to have their cooldown spots. Remember that huge jaw? Well, he used it to eat fish, which means we'll need to add a bunch of fish on our river so our guy doesn't starve to death. Go fish, be free, swim away in the river and be eaten by the Spinosaurus. And there we go. Now we just need to spawn him and see if he likes it here.
Even if the text gets the words wrong. This guy supposedly said spawn. However, the text here said spot for whatever reason. Gosh, these texts are just blasting on my face and they're still getting it wrong. How embarrassing.
Drum roll, please. And it looks like he does. He immediately started hunting fish. Now let's go to the next one. For the next one, we'll turn this Minecraft llama into a Brachiosaurus. I chose to turn the llama into a Brachiosaurus because that species of dinosaur had a really long neck.
Thanks for stating the obvious, my guy, and more text just blasting to our faces. This video is definitely made for 2-year-old toddlers with no attention span like the last video that I reviewed.
First, we need to make this llama at least 20 times bigger, just like that. And then we'll rotate its body just a little bit. I'll work on the tail first because that's definitely the easiest part to do. I just need to add a bunch of smaller cubes next to each other so we'd get the shape we're looking for. The tail needs to get thinner and thinner. And I think that looks perfect. Then we can move on to legs. The Brachiosaurus has 4 legs that are honestly easy to replicate. We just need to make the front legs a bit taller and the rear legs a bit smaller.
And of course, a bunch of off-screen work with actually new parts instead of just having just one elongated part, which would definitely be much worse. So I'll give credit where credit's due, I guess.
Because his stomach is at an angle, if you get me. No, seriously, look at a Brachiosaurus. There's an angle there. Trust me. While I'm there, I'll also shape his body and stomach to look more round because this is just too sharp. We're almost done. I just need to make a huge, tall neck. And when I say huge, I really mean it. The Brachiosaurus was as tall as 3 whole giraffes stacked on top of one another. That's a lot of giraffes. Anyways, I think we've got the shape. So last but not least, I need to make a head. The Brachiosaurus had a weird looking bump on his head, as if someone hit him with a baseball bat. So that's what I need to do.
Yeah, that reminds me of a bunch of those cartoon stuff, Tom and Jerry, whatever, where, you know, if someone gets hit on the head, they will have some sort of, I don't know, what sort of pus is that? I have absolutely no idea, but something just comes out of their head, and they just lose their hair on that region.
Bonk! I mean, oh, I don't mean to hit him with a baseball bat, but we gotta make that bump by not hitting him with a baseball bat. You get me? There we go. Oh, so, yeah, we made the bump without a baseball bat. See? Anyways, we've got a Brachiosaurus in Minecraft.
The ironic thing is that this Brachiosaurus is fairly chunky, especially on the neck, which makes it more accurate. Because Jurassic Park Brachiosaurus look more like a Giraffatitan because the Giraffatitan's neck is less chunky than the Brachio.
And since he looks like some kid made him out of sand at the beach, I need to paint him in a mix of green and gray, some sort of greenish gray color. Anyways, this will make sense once I start painting him. See? That's perfect. Comment down below how my Brachiosaurus looks, and now let's make his enclosure. Since the Brachiosaurus had teeth that weren't very sharp, he only ate plants from the trees and drank water from the river. So that means we need a lot of really tall trees and one huge river so our Brachiosaurus can drink water from there, take a bath, and even pee. Yeah.
Ugh, some crazy pee jokes out of nowhere. What is this supposed to be? What is this sense of humor? By the way, the Brachiosaurus might have also possibly eaten meat just to supplement its nutrients, like basically every other herbivore. You know, you can see footages of horses eating baby chicks.
He's peeing in and drinking from the same water. That's disgusting, but yeah, he's an animal. Since the tallest tree in Minecraft isn't enough, and this is one tall boy we're talking about, I have to build a bunch of trees that'll take a lot of time, but what can we do? Finally, we've got trees.
Now, jungle trees, chunky jungle trees are just crying in the corner after you made those puny little trees compared to those jungle trees with vines. A lot of them, chunky ones, 2 by 2.
Now I only need to dig out a huge canal and fill it with water so we'd get a big river. Gotta start digging here, gotta start digging there, gotta form that river, you know? And this is starting to look good. For the end of it, I'll just put a bunch of flowers around so our Brachiosaurus could enjoy some colors, and maybe flowers can be his dessert. Who knows, right? Whoa, this is exactly what I had in my mind. So what do you think about my Brachiosaurus?
By the way, this Brachiosaurus looks way too small. It looks much more like a Gondwana or something to me, even though it's probably not an accurate comparison, but like, this Brachiosaurus is way too small. Why didn't you make the Brachiosaurus way bigger than this one? Like, just make it 20-something meters long. I don't really care.
And the enclosure. Now I'll turn this pig into a gigantic Diplodocus. The Diplodocus had a tail that was longer than the rest of its body, so we'll make a super long tail. But first, as always, let's make this pig way bigger. That'll be our base now, and let's get on to making a tail right away.
From what I remember, the Diplodocus is generally smaller than the Brachiosaurus, and it is slightly shorter too, so yeah, it's going to have to be smaller, you know, less chunky than a Brachiosaurus. At least, it's a body mass.
The Minecraft pig doesn't have a tail at all. The swirl doesn't count as a tail, so we'll make one by stacking, you guessed it, by stacking smaller cubes next to each other. Or have I heard that before? But this time, we need to make sure the size difference between our cubes is really small, because we'll need to stack a bunch of them to get to the length we need. Gotta be careful when you make this kind of tail. You gotta be precise. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Look how funny this pig looks with a long tail.
Okay, this kind of looks more like a tadpole to me, even though this does not look like a tadpole at all, I'm sorry.
The next thing we'll need to do is shape the pig's stomach and back. The stomach is rounder, while the Diplodocus back was almost flat. It had just one small bump. See, that already looks so much better. So now, let's make the legs and then we'll focus on the neck and head. Unlike other dinosaurs, the Diplodocus front legs were smaller than the rear legs. These are looking good. I'll just make them a bit rounder and perfect. Now let's make one huge long neck. It shouldn't be as long as the tail, but it should be thicker and stronger looking. Just like that. Should I keep the pig head? What do you think?
This is another one of those strategies that these channels use to get more engagement. Just put in some comments and all that. Try and engage those toddler audiences to go to the comment section and type something so that this video can become more recommended as it becomes more engaged due to more comments.
Just kidding, I won't do that. Anyways, let's make that horse-looking head, and we should be done. See? That's it, guys. But wait, our Diplodocus is pink. It shouldn't be like that. It should be brown or gray or green. Right, I could paint it. Anyways, it definitely should. And now we're done. Wait. I almost forgot one important detail. The Diplodocus had a bunch of tiny spikes along his back all the way from the neck and to the end of the tail. I'll spend an hour doing this. Gosh. Can we skip to the part where we finish putting on the spikes? Please? And finally,
more credit where credit's due. This guy put quite a lot of effort into his dinosaur designs, especially in a Diplodocus, so I can give a little bit of a props for that.
What do you think about my Diplodocus now that it's fully done? The Diplodocus was also a plant-eating dino.
Unfortunately though, like the Brachiosaurus, the Diplodocus is also too small over here.
Which means that I'll once again have to build a bunch of huge trees, but this time, even more so, because this guy simply loved to eat plants. But the Diplodocus didn't really live in forests. They lived on the ends of forests where there was a bunch of grass and then a river. So that's exactly what we'll try to copy. This time I'll start by making a huge river first. Like real huge. A lot of river space. And okay, that's huge. Now onto the trees. I made these trees with more leaves so the Diplodocus could have more cool space to rest after taking a bath in this huge river.
This feels like, I don't really know how to describe it, but like you just put in a tree, one tree over here, and then okay, never mind. I was going to say that those trees look like one tree had dirt on top, and then just another tree just grew. So
now come on guys, you understand the shade is great, okay? Especially when it's a hot day, even after taking a bath, it will still feel hot, so you need shade. Come on. Now let's see if our guy likes it here. Go on, come on, go. Oh wow, he already ate half a tree. Okay.
You didn't really modify that correctly. Okay. Did the Diplodocus eat bark?
I don't think there's enough leaves for him here, but hopefully the new trees will grow quickly. Now, let's create a Gigantosaurus from this tiny Minecraft chicken.
Now it's the text that is spelling the Gigantosaurus properly, but this guy just called the Gigantosaurus Gigantosaurus, which is just dubious sauropod, guys.
If you watched my previous video, you'd know that the chicken is the animal that's most related to dinosaurs.
The chicken is a dinosaur. Birds are dinosaurs. Chickens are birds.
So that's why I decided to make this Gigantosaurus from a tiny
chickens are not related to dinosaurs because they are dinosaurs.
Tail for this huge, gigantic dinosaur. The tail isn't that long, but it's really thick and gets progressively thinner. But you look at that. I think I did a great job there, so now let's move on to the legs. I'll completely remove these chicken legs because I don't even think they're usable, and let's create new ones from scratch. The Gigantosaurus has two legs that look like muscular dog's legs. That's it. Now we need to make this body much bigger and more rounder. Not only that, but we need to make it longer. It should be shaped like a Oh, yeah. A McDonald's chicken nugget.
I don't understand how you could compare a Giganotosaurus body to a chicken nugget, because I have absolutely no idea at this point.
And that is exactly it. That's exactly what I was aiming for, but something's missing. Oh, right, I forgot to add arms. The Gigantosaurus has two really short and tiny arms. Not as short as a T-Rex's, but still really tiny compared to the rest of his body.
If you're going to joke about any dinosaur's arms, just take a look at Carnotaurus. They are just puny little tiny arms. Just any Abelisaurid, for example. Majungasaurus, Rajasaurus, whatever. Just make fun of their tiny arms. Don't make fun of T-Rex's tiny arms, because T-Rex's tiny arms actually had some usage. That means Giganotosaurus's arms also had usage.
And if you could see, we're slowly getting the shape of a Gigantosaurus. We just need to add the big head and paint it. The Gigantosaurus had a huge, literally dinosaur-shaped head with huge jaws and 76 teeth that were as big as one human hand. The teeth, I mean. No, seriously, the teeth were the size of a human hand. You know how crazy that is? Just so you know, while I'm making these teeth, I'm comparing them to my hand, so I'm sure it'll look realistic. Whew, that was hard. I even added tiny spikes on top of his head, and the only thing left to do is to paint the huge boy. He had a bunch of greenish-gray stripes all over his body, so I hope this looks good. What do you—
Hold up. Isn't that Nirvana Studios Giga? It's just straight up stolen from the Nirvana Studio Giganotosaurus. Just look at this. So much effort just being stolen. Gosh, I feel really, really bad. Oh, it's for free? Okay.
Nice thing. Alright, now it's time to give this dinosaur a new home.
This Giga is basically just a Nirvana Giga without all of those spikes.
Just like most of the dinosaurs, Gigantosauruses also loved water.
Never mind, this Giga also has all those bunch of spikes. And is the thumbnail one also taken from another free thing, from another free model?
But instead of making a river, this time we'll make a huge swamp surrounded by trees. That was a very bad Shrek impression, but I will stand by it. The Gigantosaurus loved hot weather, so we'll make sure these trees aren't blocking much sunlight. That's a lot of sunbathing if you want it, so you better not hurt me, please. That's looking nice, but we can't forget about his food. The Gigantosaurus wasn't a plant eater, he preferred meat. That's right, meat. So let's spawn a bunch of cows, sacrificial cows basically, and see if he likes these and his new home. Whoa, would you look at that? He was so hungry, he immediately ate all the cows. Wait, why are we still inside this enclosure? No, that means he's gonna go for— No, please, don't hit me. No.
Relax, bro, you're in creative mode, so unless this Nirvana Giga bypasses creative mode, you're going to be okay. You're going to walk away just fine. You're in creative mode. Or maybe just use something from Spawn and just immediately kill the Giga.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
That was a more agonizing experience than the last one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you all next one.